The cold silence of deep space was broken by the arrival of three massive ships near Jupiter's orbit. Their sleek, metallic hulls reflected the distant sunlight as they decelerated from faster-than-light travel, creating ripples in the fabric of space itself. In his office at Earth's United Defense Force headquarters, Admiral James Stone stared at the holographic display with intense focus. The coffee in his cup had gone cold hours ago, forgotten as soon as the first anomalous readings appeared. "Sir," his second-in-command, Captain Lisa West, spoke up. "The objects have completed their deceleration. They're holding position just beyond Jupiter's orbit." Stone nodded slowly, his weathered face illuminated by the blue glow of multiple screens. "How long until they detect our observation posts?" "They already should have, sir, but they're acting like they don't see them at all." A small smile crossed Stone's face. The Empire's arrogance would work in Earth's favor. Humanity had known this day would come. They'd been preparing for it for decades. The Admiral pressed a button on his desk. "Get me Grand Marshal Wells. It's time to activate Protocol Omega." Across the globe, hidden sensors began tracking the alien vessels. In underground bases, personnel moved with practiced efficiency, implementing procedures they drilled countless times. No one panicked. No one rushed. They had trained for this moment. The largest Imperial ship, nearly the size of a small moon, launched several smaller vessels. These scout ships moved deeper into the solar system, their sensors sweeping space with powerful energy beams. "Admiral," Captain West called out, her voice tight with controlled tension. "They're broadcasting something." The main screen flickered to life, showing a tall, humanoid figure dressed in ornate military attire. The aliens' features were surprisingly similar to humans, save for the subtle metallic sheen of their skin and eyes that seemed to glow from within. "Primitive civilization," the figure began, its voice translated in real time by Earth's AI systems. "I am Imperial Commander Marcus of the Galactic Empire. Your solar system is now under our protection and control. Prepare for integration into our glorious empire." Stone exchanged glances with his officers. The Empire clearly hadn't detected Earth's true technological level. Their scans would show cities, basic spacecraft, and radio communications, all carefully maintained as a facade. "They're sending scout ships toward Mars now, sir," reported Lieutenant Tom Adams from his monitoring station. "Our hidden bases there are going dark as planned." The Admiral watched as the Imperial scouts passed right over some of humanity's most advanced installations, their sensors failing to penetrate the quantum camouflage fields. Earth had reverse-engineered this technology from the artifacts they'd found in Antarctica 30 years ago. "Sir," Captain West interrupted his thoughts, "the Empire is demanding a response within 1 Earth hour. There," she paused, reading the incoming message, "they're threatening to demonstrate their power if we don't acknowledge them." Stone stood up, straightening his uniform. "Let them wait. We need their scouts to move closer to Earth. The more of their ships that enter our defense grid's range, the better." The next 40 minutes passed in tense silence. The Imperial ships continued their advance, completely unaware that they were being guided into carefully planned positions. Earth's buried quantum computers calculated and recalculated firing solutions, though they wouldn't be needed yet. Just as the hour deadline approached, another message came from the Empire. Commander Marcus appeared again, his expression stern. "Your silence indicates either fear or primitive communication capabilities. We will now demonstrate the consequences of defying the Empire. Watch and learn." The main Imperial vessel fired a massive energy beam at one of Jupiter's smaller moons. The celestial body exploded in a spectacular display of power. Admiral Stone watched calmly. Let them waste energy on their show of force. Let them believe their superiority. Earth's time would come soon enough. "Send word to all commands," he ordered. "Maintain radio silence. Continue monitoring. And most importantly," he turned to face his crew, "remember that we only need to warn them once." The first phase of humanity's plan was in motion. The Empire had no idea they had just challenged the one civilization they should have never approached. Grand Marshal Robert Wells stood in the center of Earth's Joint Military Council chamber, deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. The circular room was filled with military leaders from every major nation, their faces illuminated by the soft blue glow of holographic displays showing the Imperial fleet's positions. "They've destroyed one of Jupiter's moons," Wells announced, his deep voice carrying across the chamber. "Just as we expected, they're following the same pattern they used on other worlds." The room's main screen displayed intercepted transmissions from the Empire's ships. Earth's quantum computers had already broken their encryption, another fact that would have shocked the Imperial forces had they known. "The Empire has conquered 47 civilizations before us," Wells continued, pointing to a star map. "Each time, they followed the same steps: intimidation, demonstration of power, and then invasion." General Mary Thompson, commander of the North American Defense Zone, stood up. "But this time, they've made a critical mistake. They think we're primitive because that's what we wanted them to see." The assembled leaders nodded. For 30 years, Earth had maintained a careful facade. While their cities displayed relatively basic technology, the real advances were hidden underground, underwater, and in secret bases across the solar system. In orbit around Earth, Imperial scout ships continued their survey, completely unaware of the cloaked satellites tracking their every move. Commander Marcus's voice boomed through the council chamber as he sent another message. "Primitive Earth beings, your time for response has expired. We have demonstrated our power. Now, witness the might of our invasion force." The main screen showed hundreds of ships emerging from faster-than-light travel near Saturn. The Empire was bringing its main fleet, exactly as Earth's leaders had hoped. "They're positioning for a standard conquest formation," reported Admiral Stone through a secure quantum channel. "Their arrogance is making them predictable." Wells pressed a button on the central console, bringing up detailed scans of the Imperial ships. "Look at their shield configurations. They're not even operating at full power. They think this will be an easy conquest." The council chamber erupted in quiet chuckles. Earth's hidden defenses could tear through those shields in seconds, but that wasn't part of the plan. Not yet. "What about the artifacts?" asked General Thompson. "Are they showing any reaction to the Empire's presence?" Wells turned to Dr. Anna White, head of the Antarctic Research Division. She had spent her career studying the ancient technology they'd discovered buried in the ice. "The artifacts are active but dormant," Dr. White reported. "They seem to be waiting. Whatever they are, they recognize the Empire's ships, but they're letting us handle this our way." A new alert flashed across the screens. The Empire was launching drop ships, vessels designed to begin a ground invasion. They were maintaining their standard conquest protocol, not even bothering to scan for advanced defenses. "Sir," a young lieutenant called out, "we're detecting internal communications from the Empire's fleet. There," he paused, double-checking his readings. "They're already discussing how to divide Earth's resources. They're arguing over who gets to govern which regions." Wells smiled grimly. "They're counting their chickens before they've hatched." Typical Imperial arrogance. The Council watched as more Imperial ships arrived. The Empire was committing a significant portion of its fleet to Earth's conquest, believing it would be an easy victory. They had no idea they were positioning themselves exactly where Earth wanted them. "Send word to all commands," Wells ordered. "Maintain appearances. Let them think their outdated scans are accurate. Let them believe we're just another primitive world to add to their collection." As the council session ended, Wells stood alone, watching the Imperial fleet's movements. Soon, very soon, the Empire would learn that they had made the biggest mistake in their history. They had invaded the one world that was ready for them, the one world that could fight back. And when Earth did respond, one warning would be all they needed to give. Commander David Harris stood in Earth's primary defense control center, buried 3 miles beneath the Pacific Ocean. Around him, Rows of operators monitored their stations as hidden weapon systems across the planet hummed to life. 30 years of preparation were about to pay off. "Begin power-up sequence," Harris ordered, his voice steady. "Activate the quantum network." Across the globe, ancient machinery stirred. In the Antarctic ice, buried facilities that hadn't seen full power in decades began to glow. Under the Sahara Desert, massive energy collectors emerged from the sand, their surfaces still pristine after years of hiding. Beneath the Amazon rainforest, weapon platforms rose silently through carefully maintained hatches. "Sir," Lieutenant Jack Wilson reported, "the Empire's fleet is still expanding their formation. They're completely ignoring our submarine activity." Harris nodded. The Empire's scans showed them exactly what Earth wanted. Just fishing boats and basic research vessels. They couldn't detect the advanced quantum drives that powered humanity's hidden naval fleet. "What's the status of the orbital defense grid?" Harris asked. "All satellites are in position, sir," responded Captain Emily Brown. "The Empire thinks they're just communication satellites. Their scans can't penetrate the quantum camouflage." On the main screen, they watched as Imperial dropships entered Earth's atmosphere. The massive vessels descended toward major cities, their crews likely anticipating an easy conquest. They had no idea they were flying through the crosshairs of dozens of hidden defense platforms. Deep in the Antarctic Command Center, Dr. White worked frantically to understand the signals coming from the alien artifacts. The ancient machines were becoming more active with each passing minute. "The artifacts are powering up on their own," she reported through the quantum network. "Whatever they are, they're responding to the Empire's presence. It's like they've done this before." In the Pacific Command Center, Harris received new data from the quantum sensors. The Empire was positioning their ships in a standard invasion pattern, completely unaware that Earth had studied their tactics for years. "They're launching their ground forces," Wilson announced. "First wave of dropships is heading for North America." Harris pressed a button on his command console. "Attention all stations. Begin Phase 3. I repeat, begin Phase 3. Across the planet, hidden installations sprang into action. The facade of a primitive Earth began to fade. Quantum shields shimmed into existence around major cities, their energy signatures carefully masked from Imperial scans. Underground bunkers opened their doors, revealing stockpiles of advanced weapons reverse-engineered from the Antarctic artifacts. "Sir," Brown called out, "we're detecting increased energy readings from the Imperial fleet. They're charging weapons." "Let them," Harris replied calmly. "Our shields can handle anything they throw at us. Keep our defense grid powered but hidden. Wait for the signal." In orbit, the Imperial ships began their bombardment. Energy beams struck Earth's atmosphere, meant to devastate cities and break humanity's will to resist. Instead, they splashed harmlessly against the quantum shields. Commander Marcus's voice boomed through the command center. "Your primitive defenses cannot hold forever. Submit to the Empire's rule, and we may show mercy." Harris allowed himself a small smile. The Empire still hadn't realized that their weapons weren't even reaching the surface. Earth's shields were so advanced that they masked their own existence, making the Empire think their attacks were just being absorbed by the atmosphere. "Status report on the Global Defense Network," Harris ordered. "All systems at full power, sir," Wilson responded. "The quantum grid is stable. Ancient defense platforms are online and tracking targets. We're ready." Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, the artifacts pulsed with increasing energy. Dr. White's voice came through the quantum network, filled with excitement and fear. "The artifacts are fully active," she reported. "They're interfacing with our defense grid. The power readings, they're off the scale." Harris took a deep breath. Everything was in place. Earth's hidden arsenal was ready. The Empire's arrogance had led them perfectly into position, never suspecting that this primitive world was about to give them the surprise of their existence. "Send word to Admiral Stone," Harris commanded. "The defense grid is ready." Earth can now deliver its warning. Admiral Stone watched from his command center as the Empire's ships moved into their final attack positions. On his main screen, Imperial Commander Marcus appeared again, his metallic features twisted in a smile of satisfaction. "Your time has ended, primitives," Marcus declared. "Witness true power. Let this be a lesson to all who would resist the Empire." The Empire's largest warship turned its main gun toward Earth. Energy readings spiked as the massive weapon charged, preparing to deliver what they thought would be a devastating blow. "Sir," Captain West reported, "they're targeting New York City. Their weapon is powerful enough to destroy half the eastern seaboard." Stone nodded calmly. "Activate primary defense grid. Let's show them what a primitive civilization can do." Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, the ancient artifacts pulsed with blinding energy. Dr. White's voice came through the quantum network, filled with urgency. "The artifacts are linking with our defense systems. They're enhancing them somehow." In orbit, the Empire's warship fired its weapon. A beam of pure energy, bright enough to be seen from Mars, streaked toward Earth. Commander Marcus watched, expecting to see devastation. Instead, his jaw dropped as the beam struck an invisible barrier and dissipated harmlessly. "Impossible," Marcus shouted. "How did they?" "Now," Stone commanded. Around the planet, hidden defense platforms emerged from their camouflage. Satellites shed their primitive disguises, revealing advanced weapon systems. The quantum shield grid became visible for a moment, its complex patterns glowing with power. "Target the 3 nearest scout ships," Stone ordered. "Minimal power, just enough for them to understand." A single beam of light shot up from the Antarctic Defense Station. It moved with impossible precision, slicing through 3 Imperial scout ships as if they were made of paper. The vessels didn't explode. They simply split apart, their energy shields having failed completely. The Imperial fleet erupted in chaos. Their sensors, finally showing true readings, revealed the full extent of Earth's defenses. Hidden bases, advanced weapons, and technology that matched or exceeded their own appeared on their screens. "This is Admiral James Stone of Earth's United Defense Force." Stone's voice boomed across all Imperial communication channels. "That was a warning shot. We could have destroyed your entire fleet. Leave now. This is your only warning." Commander Marcus's face appeared on the screen again, but this time his arrogance was replaced with shock. How did you hide all this?" "Our scans showed." "Your scans showed what we wanted them to show," Stone interrupted. "We've been watching your empire for years. We studied your tactics, your technology, your weaknesses. We were ready for you." In the Empire's fleet, ships began powering up their engines. Some captains, seeing the true situation, were already preparing to retreat, but Marcus wasn't ready to give up. "You think you can threaten the Empire?" he snarled. "We have conquered 47 worlds. We will not be stopped by." Another beam shot up from Earth, this time from a base in the Pacific. It passed between Marcus's ship and his command vessel, missing them by inches. The display of precision was clear. Earth could have destroyed them, but chose not to. "That was your second and final demonstration," Stone said firmly. "The next beam will not miss. You have 5 minutes to begin your retreat." The Empire's sensors detected more defense platforms powering up. Hidden bases on Mars and Venus revealed themselves, their weapons locked on the Imperial fleet. The artifacts in Antarctica pulsed again, sending waves of energy that made the Empire's most advanced sensors go dark. "Sir," Captain West reported with a slight smile, "the Imperial fleet is powering up their faster-than-light drives. They're retreating." Stone watched as ship after ship turned away from Earth. Commander Marcus's vessel was one of the last to leave, its sensors still frantically scanning Earth's defenses, trying to understand how they had been so completely outmaneuvered. "Send a final message to all Imperial ships," Stone ordered. "Let them know that Earth is off-limits. We won't give another warning." Commander Marcus paced the bridge of his flagship, now safely distant from Earth's orbit. His metallic skin had lost its usual shine, dulled by stress and fear. Around him, his crew worked frantically to analyze the data from their encounter with Earth. "How did we miss this?" he demanded, slamming his fist on a control panel. "How did an entire planetary defense system hide from our best scanners?" The Empire's senior science officer, Dr. Reed, studied the readings with trembling hands. "Sir, their technology. It's unlike anything we've seen before. The energy signatures match nothing in our database." On the main screen, images from their retreat showed Earth's defense grid powering down, disappearing once again behind its perfect camouflage. The planet now looked deceptively peaceful, like a jewel floating in space. "The High Command is demanding answers," Marcus's second-in-command reported. "They've never seen an Imperial fleet retreat before. This is unprecedented." In the Empire's central command ship, an emergency council had gathered. The highest-ranking officers of the Empire's military watched the recordings of Earth's warning shot with growing concern. "Their weapon penetrated our best shields as if they weren't even there," one admiral noted, his voice shaking. "And they claimed this was just a demonstration." The Empire's advanced AI systems worked overtime, analyzing every piece of data from the encounter. Each new finding made the situation more alarming. Earth's defensive capabilities weren't just advanced. They seemed impossible. Back on Marcus's ship, Dr. Reed made a startling discovery. "Commander, these energy readings from Earth's southern continent, they're similar to ancient warnings in our oldest records." Marcus rushed to the science station, his eyes widening as he saw the data. "Access the restricted archives. Show me those warnings." The screen filled with ancient text and symbols. Most were too old to translate, but one phrase repeated over and over: "The protected world." "Sir," a junior officer called out, "we're detecting strange energy signatures from all the planets in Earth's solar system. They weren't there before." Hidden beacons, dormant for millennia, had begun activating throughout the solar system. They'd broadcast a clear message in languages so old that only the Empire's most advanced translation systems could partially understand them. "The beacons," Dr. Reed whispered, "they're warning ships away from Earth. This system, it's marked as forbidden territory by someone far more powerful than us." In the Empire's emergency council, panic was spreading. More ships reported ancient warning beacons activating near their conquered worlds. Each beacon pointed to Earth, marking it as something special, something protected. The humans, Marcus realized, they're not just another civilization. They're the caretakers of something ancient, something we were never meant to find. Earth's defense grid hummed with power, its true nature now partially revealed. The artifacts in Antarctica pulsed in rhythm with the warning beacons, creating a network of energy that the Empire's sensors couldn't comprehend. "Commander," his tactical officer reported, 3 more Imperial fleets are approaching Earth's solar system. They're asking for orders." Marcus stared at the image of Earth on his screen. The planet's seemingly primitive surface now felt like a masterful deception. Behind that peaceful facade lay weapons that could destroy his entire fleet with surgical precision. "Send the order," he said quietly. "All ships are to withdraw immediately. Mark this entire solar system as forbidden space." In the emergency council, the Empire's leaders faced a harsh reality. For the first time in their history, they had found a world they couldn't conquer. Worse, they had found one they were never supposed to approach. "The humans knew we were coming," an admiral said. "They were ready for us. All those years we thought we were observing them. They were studying us," Marcus finished. "And now they've given us our only warning." The Empire's mighty fleet hung in space, their ships now marked with energy signatures from the ancient beacons. They had come expecting an easy conquest. Instead, they had awakened something that had been waiting patiently for their arrival. Dr. Anna White stood in the deepest chamber of the Antarctic facility, surrounded by glowing artifacts that pulsed with ancient power. After the Empire's retreat, the artifacts had begun revealing their secrets, as if they had been waiting for this moment. "This is incredible," she breathed, watching as new symbols appeared on the artifact walls. "Admiral Stone, you need to see this immediately." Within an hour, Earth's top leaders gathered in the underground chamber. Admiral Stone, Grand Marshal Wells, and Commander Harris stood in awe as Dr. White explained her discoveries. "The artifacts aren't just weapons," she said, pointing to the glowing symbols. "They're a message left by the precursors, the civilization that came before all others." The chamber's walls projected images of a galaxy-spanning civilization that had existed millions of years ago. The precursors had been far more advanced than even the Empire, but they had seen something that worried them deeply. "They saw the future," Dr. White continued. "They saw civilizations like the Empire rising, conquering, destroying. So they chose Earth, chose us, to guard something important." In orbit, Earth's defense grid continued to shine with power. The ancient beacons throughout the solar system broadcast their warnings, keeping the Empire's ships at bay. But now, those warnings began to make sense. The precursors didn't just give us weapons, Commander Harris realized, studying the translations. They gave us a test. All those years we thought we were preparing for invasion. We were actually proving ourselves worthy, Admiral Stone finished. By showing restraint, by warning the Empire instead of destroying them, we passed their test. In the Imperial fleet, now gathered at a safe distance, their sensors detected massive energy surges from Earth. The planet's defense grid was transforming, revealing its true nature. Commander Marcus watched in awe as his ship's advanced AI finally decoded the ancient warnings. "It can't be," he whispered. "Earth is a Nexus world." Nexus worlds, the rarest and most important places in the galaxy. The precursors had created only a handful of them, each protecting something vital to the future of all life. Back in the Antarctic chamber, more revelations emerged. The artifacts showed Earth's true purpose. Humanity hadn't just been hiding advanced weapons. They had been guarding the key to the galaxy's future. The precursors knew that most advanced civilizations would eventually become like the Empire, Dr. White explained. Focused on conquest, on power. They wanted to find a species that would choose peace first, even when they had the power to destroy. The chamber hummed with energy as the artifacts activated fully for the first time. A holographic message appeared, left by the precursors themselves. "To those who chose warning over war, who showed strength through mercy, you have proven yourselves worthy. Earth is not just a protected world. It is a guardian world, keeper of knowledge that must only be shared with those who understand its responsibility." Admiral Stone turned to the assembled leaders. "Now we know why the artifacts helped us advance so quickly. The precursors weren't just giving us weapons to defend ourselves. They were preparing us for a larger role." In space, the Empire's ships detected even more ancient systems activating. Hidden gates and stations, dormant for millions of years, revealed themselves throughout Earth's solar system. Each one contained more of the precursor's legacy, waiting for humanity to claim it. Commander Marcus received the final translations of the ancient warnings. His hand shook as he read them to his crew. "Earth is not to be conquered. Earth is not to be approached. Earth is the guardian of what comes next." Dr. White touched one of the glowing artifacts gently. "We thought we were just protecting ourselves from the Empire, but we were actually protecting something much bigger, the next stage of galactic civilization." The leaders stood in silence, understanding the weight of their new responsibility. Earth hadn't just turned away an invasion. They had proven themselves worthy of the greatest trust any civilization had ever received. Admiral Stone looked at the ancient message once more. "Send word to all commands," he ordered. "Earth's true mission begins now." The Imperial fleet hung at the edges of the solar system, their mighty ships looking small against the backdrop of newly activated precursor stations. Commander Marcus stood on his bridge, watching as the last of his ships retreated through faster-than-light jumps. "All vessels report ready for final withdrawal, Commander," his navigation officer reported. The Empire's High Command has officially declared Earth's solar system forbidden territory. Marcus nodded slowly, his eyes fixed on the distant blue planet that had changed everything. In just a few days, humanity had transformed from a seemingly easy conquest into something that would reshape galactic civilization. Back on Earth, Admiral Stone and Grand Marshal Wells stood in the Joint Military Council chamber, addressing representatives from every nation. The room had changed. Ancient precursor technology now merged seamlessly with Earth's systems, creating displays of unimaginable clarity. "The Empire's retreat is complete," Stone announced. "But that's just the beginning. The precursors left us more than weapons. They left us a responsibility." Dr. White stepped forward, now wearing a new uniform that marked her as head of Earth's Precursor Research Division. The artifacts had chosen her as their primary interpreter, flooding her mind with knowledge that would take years to fully understand. "The precursor stations are activating throughout our solar system," she explained. "They're not just defense platforms. They're libraries, laboratories, and universities, waiting for humanity to grow into them." In space, the Empire's last ships prepared to jump away. Commander Marcus recorded his final log entry, knowing it would be studied by generations to come. "Let it be known," he spoke clearly, "that Earth is not what we thought. They stopped us with a single warning, not because they couldn't destroy us, but because they chose not to. The precursors chose well." The Empire's ships vanished into faster-than-light travel, leaving behind automated beacons that would warn others away from Earth. But these weren't just warning beacons, they were invitations to those civilizations wise enough to approach in peace. "Our role is changing," Grand Marshal Wells addressed the Council. "Earth is no longer just another world trying to survive. We're the guardians of knowledge that could either uplift or destroy civilizations." In the Antarctic facility, the artifacts continued to reveal new secrets. They showed visions of possible futures, some dark with endless war, others bright with cooperation and growth. Earth's warning to the Empire had proven humanity would choose the brighter path. Admiral Stone walked through the facility, watching as human scientists worked alongside newly activated precursor teaching systems. "We'll need to establish new protocols," he said to Dr. White. "Ways to evaluate which civilizations are ready for this knowledge." "The artifacts are already helping with that," she replied. "They've given us criteria the precursors used. We'll know which civilizations to warn away and which to welcome." News of Earth's true nature spread quickly through the galaxy. The Empire's retreat had shown that even the mightiest could be humbled. But more importantly, it showed there was another way, a path of wisdom over warfare. In orbit, Earth's defense grid resumed its hidden state, once again masking its true power. But now it was joined by precursor stations, visible to all, offering both warning and hope to those who saw them. Commander Harris, overseeing the integration of precursor technology with Earth's systems, received the first signal from beyond the Empire's territory. Other civilizations, having witnessed the Empire's retreat, were reaching out, not with weapons, but with questions. "It seems our single warning did more than protect Earth," he said to his staff. "It showed the galaxy that power isn't just about strength, it's about how you choose to use it." Admiral Stone stood at his office window, looking up at the night sky. The stars held new meaning now. Earth had faced its first major galactic test and passed not through superior firepower, but through wisdom and restraint. "Send a message to all commands," he ordered one final time. "Earth stands ready, not as a conqueror, not as a victim, but as a guardian. Let the next chapter begin." The Empire had come expecting an easy conquest. They had left having witnessed humanity's true strength, the power to hold back when they could have destroyed. And in doing so, Earth had proven itself worthy of its greatest role yet, guardian of the galaxy's future.